Hey family, it's been a few days since I've been able to share with you. I have a dream that I really want to bring to you guys. It's a long one, but it was just very realistic, and um, I'm just gonna get straight to it. So, in the dream, I started off, I was running, like I knew I was running a race. Now, before I go any further, I've had a lot of other dreams up to this dream about training for a race, um, preparing myself, being asked. A coach came up to me in a dream and asked me to be on his team to run for him. Um, like there's so many symbols of running a race and preparing and training and things like that. So I know this it symbolically our life is a race. As a Christian, we're running this race to get to the finish line of when we get called home. Now, like I understand that, but this dream was totally different. Like it was not that same. It wasn't. It did not feel in a symbolic sense. It felt more like a very real physical manifestation of me running this race and doing the things I was doing in this race. So in the race, I'm running outside and I'm on a trail, and it's like a dirt trail or like a sandy colored dirt trail outside, and it's a nice day outside as I can remember, and on the sidelines there's people on both either side of the road, the trail, and there's people all the way down, just cheering. Yeah, go. Yeah, you can do it. Yeah, go. Like just people cheering. Now that instantly reminded me of my track meet days. There's people all around the track outside cheering you along, and I 100% feel like those people were angels. Um, on the outside cheering me along. So in the race, I realized that like I knew it was it was like an obstacle course, and I knew that each obstacle had a time limit, and like for the actual to finish the actual obstacle. But then there was also like many time limits in that time limit, and as you if you didn't finish the obstacle in its time limit, before you got to the little time limits, once those little time limits ran out, the difficulty of the obstacle would raise to the next level. So um, as I was running, I knew, like I saw there was a cave, and I knew I had to go into this cave, do whatever I had to do, and then come out and go to the next obstacle. Now, I also knew that a there was the champion of the obstacle course race that I was running. He was in front of me, and I knew he was big. Like I knew he was very muscular or athletic, if you would call him that. Um, but I knew he was like the leader. He was leading the race, and he was like the champion of the race. And I knew I wasn't far behind him. Like I was in second place or something like that. And I don't remember going into the cave, but I knew we had to go to the cave, and then the next part I knew I was running towards the next obstacle, and the next obstacle was it was kind of like I had to climb this ladder, but the ladder, if like it was attached to something, and what I think it was kind of like a ladder that you would see on the back of a fire truck. Um, and like I knew I had to climb up this ladder, and I had to, as I'm climbing the ladder, I had to get to a lever that I had to pull down, and then it would release the ladder, which the ladder would like detach itself from whatever it was on. And as it was falling, I had to jump off of the ladder onto the top of whatever that surface that the ladder was attached to and run across that to the next obstacle. So I get to the ladder, and I remember I'm climbing up this ladder as fast as I could. And I get to the lever and I go to pull it, but as I right after I pull it, it like starts to slide down, but it gets stuck. So I'm like, I start panicking because like as I'm doing all this, I can hear a countdown going. I can hear people counting down 5, 4, 3, and I'm like, oh no, 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 and I'm like trying to pull this lever down and get this ladder detached so I could get off of it and go to the next obstacle, but it's jammed, and I'm like just panicking. And then I knew I ran past the first mini time limit, and then I knew it was on level 14, and I'm like, oh no, it's on level 14, it's going to be so hard now, like, and it became heavier. So as I'm trying to figure out how to get this thing down, detached without running out of time, like then I could hear the leader, the champion of the race in my head, and he's coaching me through this obstacle course. And he says he told me to calm down and to to just calm myself down, and then to pull the lever and hold it down all the way until the ladder uh, loosens up and falls off, and then continue the obstacle. So I I'm like, okay. So I take a breath, I calm down, I go to hold the lever down, and then it detached itself and it starts to fall down. But then my ankle gets caught inside of the ladder as it's falling, and I'm like trying to get this ladder off my foot, like it's dangling, and I'm like kicking my left leg, which was the leg that got caught in it, kicking it, trying to get this ladder off, hanging from whatever I was hanging on, and I could hear the countdown going, and I knew this was the countdown, like the full obstacle countdown, and it's like they're like 5, 4, 3, and I'm trying to kick this thing off, 2, 1, and I hear oh, and I knew at that point I didn't finish the obstacle, so I was out of the race. Um, and like I knew the people were like disappointed because they were rooting for me and they were cheering for me to finish this race, because I was like I knew that I was a rookie, I was new in this race, but I was like the I guess you can say the underdog who they were rooting for to win or to do very well. But apparently I had already done very well, because at this point in the dream, I was no longer in the body that I was using in the dream. And like I'm out of the body and I'm watching everything happen. Um and I noticed that the body that I was in, or let's just say I'll call it spirit me, um I was I was huge. I'm 5'9", 175. And in this dream, I could see my body, the person that I was, um, and I was like 6 foot something, 200 some pounds, all muscle, and I'm like, whoa, that guy's huge. So I could see like he walked over to like he's walking over to this little area or whatever, and then I could still see people, the people that were cheering and all that, walking around in the background, and just around doing whatever they were doing. And then this guy comes over, who I knew was important, and he comes over and he like pats Spirit me on the shoulder, like good job, like telling him he did a good job, he did well. And then he calls him over to this little table to talk. So they sit down at the table, and at this point, I still notice that there's lots of people doing whatever they're doing around. And then, like, I could see there was a bag of little white pills on the table, and the important guy, the important man, he takes one of the little pills and he hands it to Spirit Me, and he says, "Here, take a time pill." And like he called it a time pill, and they had something written on it. It was like a little engraving of something written on the pill, but I don't remember what it was. But so Spirit Me takes the pill, and then he starts to like he proceeded to ask a question or say something to the other man that gave him the pill. And as like right as he goes to say something, like everything just changes immediately. And it was like everything disappeared. All the people were gone. It was complete blackness, just complete emptiness, void. Like I knew we were in a void. There was nothing there. It was nothing. And I knew there was no time where we were. There was no time. We were outside of time. It was timeless. And I hear this voice. Like I knew, like I could see him still sitting at the table. And I hear this voice, and it says, "Is it weird, or are you uncomfortable that this is your own dream?" And Spirit Me has this look on his face like, yeah. And at the same time, I'm thinking in my head, yeah. And right after that, I look over to the left, and I see that the important man's face, he like comes out, he comes into the void from being outside of it, and it was like a veil, like it parted, like it was so dark and just black that you couldn't see anything outside of it, except for whatever entered into it. And like at first I could see his face entered into it, and then his whole body came in, and he's talking, and it wasn't like a scary thing. It was just like it was normal, I guess, to me in the dream, but it was like I don't even know how to explain it. And he says, he has this look on his face like of a proud father, and like a smile. And then he says, I enjoyed my life and I enjoyed yours. Or no, he says, I enjoyed my life and yours, but I knew there couldn't be one. And I'm like, okay. And at the same time, Spirit Me says the same thing. Like he has this confused look on his face. But the even weirder thing is, while all this is going on, I noticed that Spirit Me had changed to look like Denzel Washington. And the important man that was speaking looked like Denzel Washington too when he came into the void. And so, and like after he said, I enjoyed my life and yours, um, but I knew there couldn't be one. Then I woke up like a couple seconds after that. But like, if I could only just explain to you how it felt being inside that like void of nothingness. Like it wasn't scary and it wasn't lonely, but like I knew, like I already know that the guy, the man that was talking, that was Jesus, because for so many reasons. One, he was speaking to me directly, like my actual self, when he asked me, was it weird or uncomfortable that this was my own dream, because he knew I was thinking, because at the time I was thinking like, wait, this is my dream, but yet I'm not in it. Like I'm looking at myself that I know is myself that doesn't look like myself, and this is my dream, but I'm like watching it. So he knew what I was thinking, and that's why he asked me that question. And then the fact that he gives me this time pill, and I know the Holy Spirit revealed to me that this was the Lord allowing me to see, to feel what it felt like in the beginning of time, before there was time, before he created the earth, and there was nothing. Like it was just empty. But and the other part of it was like I felt so much closer to God than I've ever felt in my life. Like I was in him, I was with him. Like I was like surround, like that void was him. Like I was surrounded by just by him. And I don't know how to explain it. But so I looked up a couple things after this, and the Denzel, I found out like there's a couple things, a couple places that I looked. One said that it means wow, which didn't make any sense. But another definition that I got was fort or stronghold. So fort obviously is like fortress, and stronghold also means fortress, but stronghold can also mean like a safe place, and like an escape, a safe place. And that's exactly what I feel like I was. That's why I saw Jesus as Denzel in the dream, because he was telling me, he was trying to speak to me that I was in his stronghold. He is the stronghold. He is our fortress. And I was in him. I was in him, surrounded by the fortress of Jesus, surrounded in this safe place, this safe zone, this comfortable wall of protection, of defense. And the other part of that is The reason why I believe that I saw myself as Denzel was because the night after that, I was given revelation, what I believe as what is my name, my heavenly name, um, or either that or my position that I'll have in heaven. And I was told, I don't know if I should share that yet. So um, let's just say that it had something to do with defending. So which ties into the name of Denzel, fortress, um, defense, uh, stronghold. So like the Lord is just answering prayers, answering questions that I've had for him, that I've been asking him, that I've been praying for. He's revealing these things to me. And I just wanted to share that with you guys because it was such an amazing experience that I know this was not just a dream. This was a real spiritual experience that I was in this race. I saw my heavenly body, or at least what I believe will be my heavenly body, and I was allowed to experience the Lord in such a deep way that like I'll never forget that. And I just hope that you guys are also experiencing the Lord in a awesome deep way, allowing his spirit to just overwhelm you, because that's what he does for me. The Holy Spirit just overwhelms me with the magnificence and the glory of God that he just shines upon us, and the light that he allows us to be in. So like I said, I have other dreams that I want to share with you guys, and I'm going to try to get that to you as soon as possible. But until then, God bless, and I'll see you then.